we're all ready to go out into town. I've got my bag and I've got my puppy. So just come into the craft section, and they've got some really good things in here. I have used these knives in the past and they do work quite well, so that's really good. They've got some really nice magnets here, different sizes. Quite often though the magnets don't work, and they're not as strong enough to keep things on, but you definitely could give them a try for 99. If you're only just putting some cardboard or something, you wanted to stick it on the fridge, those would definitely work for that, but anything which is a bit heavier might not work. They do the tiny knife sets just for 99, just to start you off. I'm just going to run all the way down so you can see the different things which they do. I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll come out a bit. That's better. Okay, so they do quite a lot of different bits and pieces. They have acrylic paints here, which would, if you were starting off and you just wanted to start off with something smaller, that's enough to start you off with, and they're $2.49. And you've got a pack to start off if you wanted to just try painting and that sort of stuff. They also sell brushes, and these type of brushes, they're not really very good. I wouldn't buy those ones really. You might be alright with something like that maybe, but to start you off, but really you probably want to go in and buy a little bit more delicate brushes to make sure you've got sort of a really nice a fine point on them. That's something you could put a little bit more of an investment into, a nice brush. You're not going to pay a lot, you can get 2 or 3 brushes for very simple. They do ink pads here and they're 59p. You can see they've got lots of different things. That is really nice in the school room. If you wanted to do something in the doll's school room, that works really well. I'm always looking out for the erasers or anything. There's not too much here today, but sometimes they've got them in the shapes of fruit and different things like that. If you've got children who are younger than 3, I wouldn't advise picking those up, but you can pick those up and that can go in as fruit into the doll's house. There's lots of different bits and pieces there, scissors and things like that again. I always pick up some of those craft bags. They're handy for when you're storing different bits and pieces. There's a whole bag of feathers there, so if you didn't want to spend too much on feathers, that's quite nice. You can pick that up. That's quite cheap, so that's good value. You've got your pom-poms and different bits and pieces like that, so that's quite good value. Right, and then if you come back here, they do the lovely ribbons, and all their ribbons are 99, and different embellishments. But what you need to look for is the ribbons you want. You don't want to get anything which is like the ribbons you use for Christmas type things, wrapping presents and that, because that's too thin to work with. Those organzas and that down there would be okay, but the ones which you use for presents, they rip too easily, so those are no good for sewing. So you want something which is a little bit more, I'm trying to see, they haven't really got any of the ones which I particularly am thinking of, so I've watched that. The lace there is really good. I've used that and I've sewn with that, and that sews and washes really well, so that's good. Got lots and lots of stickers, that which would be good for decorating the dolls' rooms and things like that. It's going to come along here. Their organising boxes are really good, don't value down here. I usually pick up some of those if we need them. There we go. These are different things. These are nice. You can use those for scrapbooking and that sort of thing. They work really well. The Dimenties and that, they're quite good. Now, if you didn't want to make your wall tiles like that, you can always pick up stuff like these. They do smaller ones in those as well, like this sort of size. This would work really well for going in doll's bathroom or something like that. So that one's only $1.99, so that would be really good. So you could get, you probably only need 2, and that could be where your shower wall would go or something like that. So yeah, that would work well with that. Their zips do work fine in here, surprisingly enough. I have bought those and they work really well. These little pegs are great for if you want to do a doll's washing line or something like that. Now, some of these lollipop sticks These are the solid ones. Yeah, you can get solid ones, but you can get the ones which have got the hole in them, which works well for straws for the dolls as well. And you've got the little beads here, these sort of pearl beads. But these ones, you need to, if you're looking for beads, what you need to look for, these are made out of plastic. You need to look for ones which are made out of glass, because then you can put them in with your polymer clay and cook them on with your polymer clay. So those work really well for that. Little pretty little flags, they're cute, aren't they? Those are nice. Those would be nice for making like chair legs or something like that. They are wood, okay, so that would be quite good if you wanted to use some of those. Pick up some of those. They do the nice washi tape. They do glitter and non-glitter of that in there. And there are the glass beads, look, can you see them? Just up there. You can't quite get in there because there's a box in there in the way. They do these as well, which are great for storage and that sort of stuff. And these, which I'm going to pick up a pack of, if I can grab them. These make good little pots and cups and things like that for the dolls. You can do drinks and things in them as well. So they make like quite little good glasses and that sort of size. So they're not exactly the right size, but they work okay. So that one's all right. These are nice, look, little glass things. These are great for writing on. You get your chalk and that with it, and that'll do a chalkboard right. And this is where I buy my labels. These are good if you're going to put in the shop and things like that. So those work really well as well. So that's good. So they've got a really lovely selection of craft stuff in here. That paper's really good. That is their sticky back paper, and that is you get 1.2 meters of that. So you can get it cheaper in other places, but it's only 99. So you have to work out whether it works. What's the cheapest of it, but that is just like your sticky back plastic, which you could cover walls and use for wallpaper and all sorts of stuff like that. Okay. They also sell all they've got glues and glitter glues, and they've got all the different paints in here. They do glow in the dark paints, they do acrylic paints and all that type of thing. So I think their acrylic paints are 99, and these smaller acrylic paints as well. I think they might be 59, something like that, so they're quite cheap. And they do all the different colour glue sticks. You can get your glitter glue sticks here as well, which are really nice. So we'll get some red for Christmas. Make sure when you pick them up that it's the right size for your glue gun, okay, because they do different sizes. This is a smaller one, but they do a larger size one. They also have craft varnish up there, which works okay, and they have glow in the dark paints as well. So, but the craft varnish is okay. I'm just looking at these brushes here. They're $1.19, and I'm wondering whether that's too big. I think that would be alright as a doll's broom. Put a piece of dowel in there, so I think I'm going to pick that one up, $1.19, and that will be a nice. I shall make a broom out of that for the dolls. So I go with that. I like the wooden one rather than the plastic. I'm always looking along here where they have the baby stuff in that, because they have such good little things which you can pick up. These lovely little baby blankets are really cheap there, and I think they are 99p. That's a really good value, little blanket to go in for the dolls, so that would work really well in the dolls' beds and that sort of thing if you needed them. So I'm just in the sewing section. As you can see, they do their sewing needles on 89 there. They do their hook and eyes, and they do their pop fasteners, and they've got lots of different sizes of pop fasteners. They're really good. This is the one which I was telling you about, the tailor's chalk. They do a tailor's chalk here as a pencil and a chalk, and they've got the rubber with it, so if you wanted to rub that out, so you've got one sort of like for dark materials, and this one is for lighter materials where the white wouldn't show up. So that's really good value, and I think those are 99 usually, so you should get one of those. They've got safety pins, they've got all the different scissors and different things like that. I mean, that's a nice pack, look, that sewing's pack there. It's got scissors, it's got a tape measure, and it's got needles. It wouldn't be good enough to do your proper sewing, your cutting and that sort of thing, but those scissors would be alright for using to do cutting up of things like, which I used my old ones for the word and all those sorts of things. So they've got embroidery silks, and they've got little, no, I wouldn't buy these threads. You don't want to buy these threads. You don't really want to buy these threads. You want a nice strong thread. If you're going to spend your money on a thread, don't waste it on money like these. These embroidery threads would be okay if you wanted to do an embroidery. Look, and you've got 12 different colours there, look, so that would be really good for that price. They've got all different colours in those. They've also got hook and loop tape here as well. Okay, so the Velcro type stuff, all right, and it's not sticky, so that's really good. I use this fabric glue as well. That's only 99p, and I've used that lots, and that works really well. Don't bother buying any of those. Their packs of elastic are really good value. And they're really quite strong. Can you see this pack? This is more like what I would call a knicker elastic, that one there. What you really want to go for, I'll put that back in a minute. There's one which is more like that, okay? Can you see the top of it is slightly different? You want to go in something like that. That's a good pack of elastic. No, that's not. That's the knicker elastic type elastic again. You want that sort of stronger elastic. Just trying to grab that one, but it won't come off. Let's see if I can. Got it. Okay, that's a better type of elastic. You get a much better value out of that. It stretches better. They've got sewing machine oil here, look, which is only 99p, which is really good. They've got some fabric paints and that up there. I've never used this, so I wouldn't try this. This is a magnetic pin cushion. So when you're if you're just whipping your pins off quick, you can shove it onto that rather than poking it into your pin cushion, and that'll hold all your pins in place. So I'll grab one of those as well. Okay, they've got some nice threads here, these gold and silver threads. This would be hard to use on the sewing machine. You could try it out and have a go at it. The problem is they break really easily. So, and the same with these type of threads here. You're better off spending a little bit more money on your thread if you can. Got nice packs of needles, all different sizes. That would be good if you were starting out. Then you could use sort of like these bigger needles in that, which work for when you're doing embroidery and different things like that. So they've got lots of different sizes in there, so that would definitely start you out. So for down here, for about £10, you could completely do your whole of your sewing supplies to start you off, and you could sort of get yourself that, and then just go out and buy yourself a couple of reels, a white and a black cotton to start you off. All right, but don't get a cheap cotton. I wouldn't go for those pins either. Okay. They also do loads and loads of beautiful wools at reasonably cheap prices. But the only thing with these wools is sometimes if you're going to have it for your dolls, it's fine, but if you're going to have it to wash and use a lot for children or something like that, they do bubble up a bit. And then if you wanted to buy some feathers rather than buying them in the pack, this pack here, this is going to be £2.49. You get two colours on that one, but look how many feathers you're going to get, you know, especially if you can share them with a friend or something. You could sort of go half price and get different coloured feathers. So that's a really good bargain for buying feather dusters. They do usually have some of the smaller ones, which are only £1.19, I think, up there, but they haven't got them at the moment. But yeah, so those are really good value for feathers. Obviously this is more than I would usually pay, but that would make a fantastic mirror that would fill up a doll's bedroom. And also the chest is really nice. They're both supposed to be jewellery boxes, I think, but that would be really nice for the dolls' rooms. They're at $9.99 and $14.99. So I'm looking at these tiny spoons. If I cut them about there, that would be the perfect size for the dolls. So they're $1.19 and you get 10 little coffee spoons for those. So I'm going to pick those up. I think that would be great. If I cut them off, I'm going to make some really nice doll spoons with that. So these little canvases here, they are $3.99. That would be really perfect size for the dolls. But they've also got here, look, for $1.19. So they've also got up there, look, for $1.19, a lovely little easel. I don't think I can reach it. a lovely little easel with a canvas on it, and that's just £1.19. So that would be really nice for the dolls. You've got the bigger easels, which are 99p, which would go with those ones back over there. Or you can get the whole set for £1.99 there. And that would go quite nice in the schoolroom or something like that. So I think that would be quite nice. Just here, look, we've got the clear yacht varnish, and it's £1.29, and that works really well. You want to get the water-based one if you can. That will give you a much better finish, and it's much easier to clean up your brushes and everything. And that does work with the polymer clays, so that's really good. They also do lots of different little tins of different paints which are nice and cheap, because you don't want to spend out a great big lot and get a huge tin of it. So you can get like white matte paint there, look, for £1.99 and things like that. So if you're just doing small projects, you can cut one of these smaller tins, and that works quite well. Look, you can see there's all different types of ones there. They do gloss paints and all that in this variety as well. Okay. See you all later. Goodbye.